What's up guys, Crab here. Welcome back to another Battles 2 video. This was supposed to come out yesterday, but I didn't get around to it. I had some stuff going on. So we're going to be doing this today on a Tuesday, which is weird. Normally it's Monday. But we're going to be playing No Pain, No Gain. The reason being, I never play this game mode, mainly because I don't like it. In order to make things affordable, you've got to leak lives, which I don't mind leaking lives. But in this game mode, you have to leak so many lives that it's really hard to get a solid start. So I'm gonna go with Captain Churchill as my hero. I think that's gonna be the best because if you have someone like BTN who generates you lives, or even like Smudgecat Azili, you do end up getting that cost back. I think, I don't know the strategy here. I guess I'm just going to go with my normal Bonanza strategy, because once it's cheap enough where it works, I think it'll work perfectly fine. But it's going to be tough. We're going to have to leak down to like 30 lives, then get Captain Churchill down. Hopefully he'll defend everything. It's going to be tough. Let me tell you that right now. $3,000 for Captain Churchill. Okay, but obstacles still clear. We're gonna send Space Eco. I guess that's gonna be our best choice. I want to get rid of this obstacle. Seems like a waste of money, but it's gonna help us when we get Captain Churchill down. Because if we don't do that, then we're gonna have a tough time setting him down right. Can we afford to leak all of these? It looks like we can. Oh, I don't like how low we're getting though. Okay, let's get Captain Churchill down. We're down to 24 lives. Will he do better? I think he'll do better on first. Just because he's got a straight line there, and then he can kind of save us at the back too. Yeah, he seems to be doing a perfectly good job. Let's go ahead. Let's send some space yellows and balloon boost them. I want to see if we can get the win early. But yeah, I don't normally play this, so I'm probably playing this terribly. If you guys have any tips and tricks, let me know. I know that's supposed to be my job, and I'm doing the best I can, but I need a lot more experience playing this before I'm ready to give you guys tips. I think the strategy is to do exactly what I did. Get down to like 24 lives, and then, you know, keep aggression on your opponent. We're sending these space banks and he's leaking. He just leaked a blue. That's 2 whole lives. If we go ahead and balloon boost again, we might be able to get this win on round 4. Because he's going to panic and then he has to get it there, and then he's going to start chasing, and he's not going to be able to pop all of the layers off of the balloons. They're going to slowly get by, and you can see they did. And we got our first ever win in, that is my first ever win in No Pain, No Gain. Reason being is because I tried it a couple times, and I tried to leak down, you know, just like I did here, but I ended up leaking down to 0 lives, or even negatives, so that's why I'm not a big fan of this game mode in general, but I think it can be fun. Again, I like going late game, so like if I can leak down to the perfect amount of lives, I think if you get down to like 5 lives, everything's like half the price. We're gonna go ahead and skip that map. If we can do that, I'm sure it'd be fine. Oh, I'm not a big fan of this map, because if we have Captain Churchill like here, he might only be able to hit these. Again, we're going to be rocking with the same strategy. I wish they had like a toggle where, like, if you did this, you could like press a little lock down here or to the side, or on mobile at least have it like in this little corner. So that way you can lock in that strategy with that hero instead of having to go through a normal ranked battle to get it to save. Etienne usually doesn't do well against group balloons if that's what they're going to be starting with. for their starting tower. Etienne's not a great starting tower, especially for a hero. And the reason being is because his drones do a lot of damage to specific balloons. So when you have space balloons, like these space blues, it works perfectly fine. But when you're sending grouped reds or even grouped blues, it's a lot harder to get that like perfect balance where you're not leaking but you're also not chasing. You can see they're not being aggressive to us at all. Okay, now they're starting to with these greens. I want to wait just a little bit longer and then get Captain Churchill down. As soon as we can, I'm gonna. Oh my goodness. I should have went with Dartling Gunner instead of Captain Churchill. That's my bad. Again, like I said, I need more experience playing this game mode before I give you guys like good tips and tricks to follow. Right now I'm just saying this is what I'm doing, this is what's working for me, and you guys can try that. But if you guys don't play No Pain No Gain, I don't blame you. It's not my favorite game mode, but I'm giving it a chance because I never really have before. Again, I played it once. I played like 4 games in a session, and it was just not that great. Flexion is a terrible map. Off-Tide isn't bad. The problem with Off-Tide, however, is all the balloons come out of here. So they're gonna get clumped. So maybe... I wonder, maybe the wizard would do better for us. Actually, let's use our noob strategy. Imagine that ends up being really good. What, Ninja Farm Wizard? I'm not sure how the farm would do, actually, but let's try Ninja Farm Wizard, our noob strategy, and see if that works. Because I feel like either the ninja or the wizard would be a good starting tower for this because they can kind of handle themselves. And if the upgrades are cheap enough, then we're going to end up having enough money to go for like double chop balloon jutsu and all that good stuff. And the wizard is cheap enough on its own where you can see we can afford it right off the get-go. So then we'll only have to spend a little bit of money on it. The thing that's going to be difficult is I want to get a wizard. I want the wall of fire like right there, and I know it's kind of early to set down the wizard, but I think if we keep it a 0-0-0, it's going to do good enough where it lets us leak enough to get cheaper upgrades, but doesn't make us leak too much to the point where we end up losing all of our lives. But Captain Churchill is going to be expansive. I'm going to balloon boost these. I want to do as much damage as possible. And if we can get the win early, I want to get the win early. Because the engineer is not a good starting tower whatsoever. Let's get Fireball on this wizard to make us do a little bit better. Because again, we want to leak consistently, but we don't want to leak too much. Like we did in the last game. Okay, so he got his sentries up. They're going to be doing good, but you can see he's chasing super hard. Which is going to end up biting him in the back. If you saw my video about chasing and why you should avoid it, I was using this map, and you can see it's a perfect candidate for it. Because even with a balloon boost, these yellows are going to be so fast, he's not going to be able to catch up. Let's get our intense magic. Got monkey sense, don't really need it. He's down to 14 lives, guys. What I really need here now is the wall of fire when I can get it. Which I know its normal price, I believe, is 900. So, when it's around... When it's a little bit less, hopefully this blue and red will get by, and then we'll be perfectly fine. Should have been sending space pinks, but I haven't been. Let's go to space whites. And after our next income boost, we can go ahead and get our wall of fire. That way we can be defending pretty solidly. Going for a farm is a mistake, dude. You're chasing too hard. Yep. See, that's exactly what happens when you don't have the best defenses and you try to invest in farms. You're If your opponent is smart, which I would consider myself pretty smart when it comes to battles too, I feel like I play the game pretty well, not perfectly. I'm not as good as, other YouTubers that have been playing this game since release, even though I have been playing it since release. I'm not as good as them just because I haven't put as many hours into it as them, and I've never wanted to be like a professional or like the go-to person for Battles 2. I'm just somebody who casually plays Battles 2 that enjoys playing Battles 2, and I enjoy giving people tips and tricks of how they can do better in their games. And that's not just with Battles 2 for uh, my commentary and what my channel is going to be. If you guys saw, there are a list of games that I want to do Let's Plays on, which will be coming out on Fridays. However, the past 2 Fridays, I've had stuff going on, so I haven't been able to get to them just yet. But I will be getting to them at some point, and you guys, I'm sure, will enjoy them. The first one's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn. I've got a bunch of tips and tricks for that I've learned by playing through it 3 different times. I'm sure you guys will enjoy the story for it too. It's a very touching story, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm sure some of you out there have played it. If you haven't, give it a try. It is a PlayStation and PC exclusive, however, so if you're on Xbox, you're not going to be able to get it. Unless they have it on Game Pass, they might not. I don't think PlayStation exclusives usually go to Game Pass, but there might be an exception to that rule, so you'll have to figure that one out, but I'm sure you guys will love that game, and I love it too. Bunch of tips and tricks. It's a open world RPG, and I play a lot of that kind of stuff, and I'm excited to show you guys it. And it's exciting for me because I get to do a Let's Play, which isn't something I get to do with Battles 2, because the type of content I like playing of Battles 2 is, doing challenges and stuff versus something like that where I can just sit and play casually. If I just sat here and played Battles 2 casually, it would get boring for you guys. It would be... I mean, I'm sure some of you could handle it, but, watching the same type of content where, I'm using the exact same strategy, I'm just trying to get the win every time. Doing that versus doing something like this, I feel like this is more entertaining, and this is what I enjoy recording more, so this is what I'm going to record more when it comes to Battles 2. I'll probably never do a casual Battles 2 video where I just play it for like hours on end. If I get into streaming, sure, we'll do that. We'll talk to the, you guys in the chat can talk, and we'll have nice live commentary, but that won't be for a while. I want to get a third monitor for that. I want to, have a place where I don't have to worry about editing or anything, because right now, like, my microphone picks up a lot of background noise, and there's a lot of people that walk around and stuff, and they like to yell. You can hear stuff, especially like when the kids get out of school and stuff. So I do want to stream in the future, and we will have that in the future. It's just that's not something that I'm willing to do right now, but it will happen at some point, I'm sure, because I would enjoy it. I'm sure you guys would enjoy it, and it would give like a different vibe to the entire thing, instead of just doing can I win with all of these different strategies and all that, and challenge videos in general. I feel like for videos, the challenges are better. For streams, just casual gameplay. And maybe in the future I'll stream like Let's Plays, but I feel like Let's Plays are better in episode format. One video about an hour long. If you want to binge through it, you can, but you don't have to, you don't have to watch the full, you don't have to watch any of the boring parts. Those can be edited out, I think that's going to end up being the best case scenario for us. We're going to go ahead and start getting our Dartling Gunner up. Now, as you can see, it's still a bit more expensive. $692 versus, I think, the normal price is $600. I'm not actually completely sure on that. My question is, how many lives do you have to leak in battles 2? Or in No Pain, No Gain? To, get it. To, how many lives do you have to leak to get it to... to get it to normal prices? Down to 30, okay. Trying to type on Google with one hand on my phone while recording is a whole nother pain. We're gonna set the target, we're gonna lock it there. So, it's a little more expensive, but it's not terribly expensive. I am going to send some camo purples because I don't think they have... Okay, so they did get camo detection with their Dartling Gunner. Because I did see a glimpse at that they weren't defending with that. I could probably win right now. It's almost to the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to. But I want to test out these new phase balloons. I'm going to do this with purples and balloon boost them. Wow, that was expensive. But I guess they have like a shield on them, then they like teleport. And I had no clue those were added until I just watched an entire YouTube video about them the other day. I think this guy might have rage quit. Waiting for the sinking screen to pop up because you guys all saw how far those went. You know, they got to the exit. But maybe that was also screen lag, so there is a chance that they could be perfectly fine. But that was not a cheap rush, so I'm hoping that isn't the fact. And let's send purples over top of those and balloon boost. Yeah, there's no way they're defending that. So I guess that was just screen lag with the phase balloons. Which I guess it makes sense, it happens. But that was actually pretty fun, and maybe I'll end up playing No Pain, No Gain in the future. I really like doing it on docks though, because I like going late game. That's why I love Bonanza. And I love the fact that in Bonanza, you know, you can go to round 50, you can rush your opponent, you can get tons of money. I love doing that. So that's why I play those more often. But maybe if that's not available, and only No Pain, No Gain is available, like right now. Like they got random jump started speed battles, but nothing with Bonanza. So maybe I'll end up playing that. I had a pretty good time. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.